AASL Standard for Advocacy and Leadership. Now, when we think of librarians, a lot of times they are kind of a standalone person in their building. What I mean by that is that there is typically one librarian and that's it. Where in other subjects and other classes, you might have multiple fourth grade teachers or a bunch of math teachers. Librarians typically are the only ones who have that role in their building. So it's very important that they advocate and stand up for their library and take charge when it comes to programming and other issues that pertain to the library. There are four elements that fall under this category. There are 4.1, networking with library community, 4.2, professional development, 4.3, leadership, and 4.4, advocacy. When I look back at my time in libraries, I'm going to kind of start and I'll work through them in the order that I first mentioned them. So we talk about 4.1, networking with the library community. The first image in the top left and then the one in the bottom left are a couple examples I have of how I've met this. Now, when we think of networking, a lot of times we think of in-person connection. That might be meeting another librarian for coffee or somebody that you've worked with in the past or who's maybe in your school district, sending them a quick email. Because of the way that I've kind of come to the library program and become a librarian or am in the process of becoming a librarian, my journey's been a little bit more unique. Most of the people I've connected with, I've never met in real life. So, if you look in the top left, you'll see Future Ready Librarians. This is a Facebook group that I belong to that is made up of less than 25,000 members from across the United States, and there's even people who are there from other countries. Primarily, it is United States librarians. And it's an area where a lot of people gather and ask questions and kind of share triumphs and do a lot of brainstorming together. And I absolutely love being a part of that group. If you look at the bottom left, this is kind of my core group of people who I met through Valley City State University. A lot of these people are individuals who I had one of my first classes with, and we've continued to talk and correspond throughout the 3 years that I have been in the program. And we meet just about weekly. Usually we meet via Zoom. I accidentally tried to call them all on FaceTime. So I was like, all right, guys, smile. I'm going to screenshot you, and you're going in as one of my examples. So I'm so fortunate that I have them as a network of people that I can rely on and talk to about any questions I have pertaining to library. When we talk about professional development, that's what that middle chunk is dedicated to. So I go to a lot of conferences focused on literacy and ones that have things that are specific to library. I think it's a great way to meet different educators who are passionate from around the country to help develop some of those relationships and to also help yourself grow. The one at the bottom is Innovative Education, which was a North Dakota program. It's in its second year, it's going into its third, where it's all teachers from North Dakota kind of getting together to try to solve problems that they think are maybe unique to education in our state and maybe even on a larger scale. If we talk about leadership, one thing we talk about is reaching out and trying to make change and being the person who takes charge. So if you look in the top right photo of the laptop, it might be a little confusing to see how this one connects. But one thing I've done in terms of leadership is I advocated to receive funding so that we could have an author speak to our students. So this is a picture of Magda Herzberger, who's an author and a Holocaust survivor. I had it projected up on our board, and I didn't want to disturb students as I quickly took a picture of this cool experience. And we were able to raise some money so that we could pay Magda for her time as she talked to us about her experience and then also what it was like reliving some of that as she was writing her book. The last thing is advocacy, and a lot of this goes to how you're going to kind of promote your library for all of the stakeholders. And if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, I have just kind of a little snippet of an advocacy project that I did for one of my classes that I did my best to kind of follow through and implement in my library. I tried to create different things on a month-by-month basis to get people into the library, because if there's anything that we know about how do you get people excited about the library and how do you get people to value the library, you've got to get them in the doors, and you have to have them come in and see what is happening and why it is such an invaluable service.